I have gone through a number of parental abuse, but not directly from my parents because I didn't really grow up with my parents. And it's just so funny because parental abuse isn't limited to only experiencing these form of abuses from your parents, but from parental figures in your life. I have been through emotional and psychological abuse. I've been through financial abuse. I've been through physical abuse. I've been through sexual abuse. But we thank God now because it's a glorious story today. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for good. And I must say, coming out of any form of abuse is a very difficult thing to do. Very difficult. The shame and stigma around it, firstly, is just really mentally challenging because you have these thoughts in your head. What do people think about me? Many people think I'm lying or I'm worthless. But when you look at what God says about you, it's not anything related to your past experiences, because in Jeremiah 29:11 it says, the plans that I have for you are that of good and not of evil. So even if you've had sad experiences, that doesn't mean that those experiences are the totality of your being. And coming out of those abuses really helped me see the glorious hand of God, that He does not lie, because I look nothing like what I've been through. I look nothing like what I have survived. And not going into details of any of them, I just want to encourage somebody out there who is coming out of any form of abuse or who is trying to come out of any form of abuse. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to fight through it. Like, you have to believe that you deserve the other side of this abuse. You have to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, you remain a victim. I don't know if you've seen this movie Apex on Netflix, how the guy who was a predator was trying to make the girl a prey, and at the end of the day she became the predator. And that is just a very practical example I could give for someone who is trying to come out of, any form of abuse. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to fight against those fighting against you. I'm not encouraging violence or instigating it, but I am advocating for survival. I'm advocating for victory, because through Christ I can do all things. We can do all things. There are 6 core types of parental abuse. These include physical abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, religious and cultural abuse, and sexual abuse. From my experience, there is no worst type of parental abuse. They are all horrible, and nobody deserves to go through any of them. Physical abuse is when a parental figure uses physical force to control, intimidate, or punish a child. Nobody deserves to go through that, either by hitting or by slapping or by punching, just any form of physical violence just to exert authority. Emotional or psychological abuse is when a parental figure uses patterns to diminish a child's confidence or self-esteem through intimidation, comparison, silent treatment, gaslighting, and just vices that makes the child feel worthless, unseen, unheard, and not enough. Verbal abuse is when a parental figure uses harmful language to control or degrade a child to exert authority through yelling constantly, through harmful words, through threatening, through mocking or belittling the child. Sexual abuse is when a parental figure imposes sexual behavior on a child through sexual comments or sexual exposure, through inappropriate sexual advances. And it's just, why should any parental figure do that? Protect the child. Financial abuse is when a parental figure uses finances or resources to control and exploit a child. Through controlling a child's access to resources or finances as a sort of punishment, or stealing the child's earnings, or taking the child's earnings, or guilt tripping the child to be responsible for them financially. Religious or cultural abuse is when a parental figure uses belief system, traditions, cultures to intimidate, instill fear, or justify wrongdoings against the child. Not every strict and imperfect parent is abusive. The key difference is repeated pattern of harm, abuse, humiliation, and just overall negative influence that affects the child's well-being, success, and sense of safety. Have you ever been abused? These are not limited to the overall types of parental abuse. These are just a few and the core. Let me know if you've ever been abused in the comment section, what your experience has been. This is part 2 of the parental abuse series. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. I love you as Christ loves the church.